I'm Robert Vogel, and I'm going to give you a few tips here on the draw. Regardless of what you're into, if you're a competitive shooter or not, being able to draw the gun quickly, deploy it quickly is going to be a big thing for sure. Before even the draw, I preach to a lot of people about the grip. If and when you practice your grip, you absolutely have to do it from the draw. Okay? Anybody can stand here with a gun in your hand, with a gun in my hand, and I could sit here and I could configure a good grip. That's super easy. You got to be able to do that quickly off of the draw. You have to start that early. A lot of people, when they draw the gun, they don't even touch the support hand to the gun until the gun is all the way out here. For me anyways, it has to start down here. So regardless of where my hands are to start here, doesn't matter. Boom. They both go right here. The gun clears the holster. This hand goes to the gun in this manner right here, and from here out, I'm sliding and I'm rolling into my grip. For me, it's the only way I get a good grip on that. Another thing here is for the times where you're doing a static draw, sometimes you're going to be drawing and moving, that's going to be different. For the times I'm standing here in one spot, drawing to a single target or drawing to any target at all, really, I don't want to move anything besides my hands and my arms on the draw. So I want to stand here exactly how I'm going to shoot. So when the buzzer goes off or when I start, literally the only thing that moves is my hands and my arms, nothing else. And so many guys aren't doing that. They're standing all the way upright. At some point when they grab the gun, or especially when they pull the gun out of the holster, they're having to hike and move their shoulders around. The biggest thing I see is as guys present the gun to the target, they drop their shoulders in their head. All these extra motions, not only do they take more time, but they throw you off from being able to come out and index exactly to the point that you need. Another couple things here is where I typically see people losing time. Really, it's two main places. It's one place is at the holster and the other place is at the target. What I see a lot of guys doing is when they come onto the gun, and again, I want to come as high as I can without going too high, but guys come onto the gun and they really want to squeeze and grind into that gun while it's still in the holster and then pull the gun out of the holster, okay? You need to learn how to snatch the gun out of the holster. When I draw the gun, I'm really just hitting the web of my hand and the knuckle of my middle finger, those two spots. Okay, the instant I hit those two spots, I'm pulling the gun up and out of the holster. But I'm actually squeezing the gun and acquiring my pressure and my grip at the same time as I'm moving the gun towards the target. So much of this stuff is doing 2 or 3 things all at the same time. That's going to be good for probably a couple tenths of a second saved in a lot of people's case. The last thing, and probably the area people are the slowest at, is on the target, okay? Assuming, and again, it doesn't matter if I'm drawing, if the target's 3 yards away or 50 yards away. If I'm drawing at a target knowing I'm going to shoot it, this is the reality here, okay? I'm actually, as I present the gun out, I am coming into the trigger guard and onto the trigger. So I'm actually taking up the slack of the trigger. That way, by the time I get all the way out to the target, I've taken up all the slack and some of the pressure. And then when I see what I need to see, whether it's the front sight, depending on the target, but I've already came to that pressure wall. When I see my front sight or whatever I need to see, I just apply that last little bit of pressure and break the shot. When I find a lot of people, again, at a basic level, they're coming out and they're all the way on the target and they haven't even come into the trigger guard. And then they come into the trigger guard, and so number one, they're slower, but number two is I see them jerk the trigger so much more because they're trying to go from not even touching it to just everything all at the same time. That is a practice thing. I would not, if you've not tried that, I would not try that the first time in live fire. That's something you're going to practice a lot in dry or in dry fire, because obviously the gun could be going off a little bit early if you're not careful. But that's the reality of it. Is the better shooters, the faster shooters. That's what we're doing.